Hey, welcome back to the Marianne Hickman Show. Today is talk tip number 30. What is a CRM? Check it out. So what's a CRM and why should you care if you're a public speaker or if you're getting into public speaking? Well, let's define it first of all. CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management, and you're looking for a piece of software that is a customer relationship management software. Now, I gotta be honest, if you've been a member of this channel, you've probably seen my early videos. I've got my little blonde updo there with my fake backdrop. This is a real backdrop, by the way. That's a real brick. This is a real car. Anyhow, so this customer relationship management software is a piece of software that holds on to your customer data. In those old videos that I recorded for you, I made some recommendations that frankly, I would not make today. Number one, Infusionsoft/Keep. I used it for a very long time. I would never, ever use it again. Mostly because of the cost and the user interface. The cost was too high and the user interface was not friendly enough. Now, I got used to it. I ran with it, but it was not be something that I would pick today. Number two is HubSpot. It was another one that we ran for a really long time. Well, actually, not super long. It was shorter than I expected. Again, it priced out and it was not as user-friendly. Although it was a little more user-friendly than Infusionsoft and Keep, it's not one that I would recommend, again, because there are better options available that are stronger and more robust. When I first started, I started with MailChimp. Now, I'm glad I had something. This was a piece of software that could send emails, but I couldn't run my payments through it. I couldn't do tripwires with it. I couldn't interface with my socials with it. But for what it was as a free service, it got by. But again, I would not use that now. Now, the one that is not often considered to be a CRM, it's more of a social management utility, is ManyChat. A very, very useful tool. But again, there are some CRMs out there that also do the things that ManyChat does that now you don't have to have multiple subscriptions on. So for myself and for everyone in my Mastery Hive program, we run the same CRM. Now, here's why this is so important. When you jump on stage, you might be speaking and getting paid for it, which is great, but more often than not, you're speaking not for free necessarily, but you're not getting paid a speaker fee because you're able to do what's called a call to action, or CTA, in other words. Now, this CTA is going to be, hey, get my free database, or get my free ebook, or here's my calculator, or here's my guide to XYZ. Scan this QR code and download it. You've probably seen this at a lot of events. This is where your CRM comes in extremely handy, and for us, absolutely necessary. When you throw up that QR code or have them text in an automated number, number one, you want something that's going to deliver your deliverables without you having to do it by hand. The last thing you want is to be there in the back of the room sending emails by hand with your delivery system to get your ebook or your database out there. It's going to consume so much of your time when it can be done by a robot. Number two, you want to collect the name, email, and phone number of everyone that said yes to your thing, because you have got to build your email list. YouTube will fail you one day. You might have a video that doesn't go viral, or God forbid, you get hacked. TikTok is going to fail you one day. Facebook is going to fail you one day. Whatever piece of social media that has been invented since this video went live, it will fail you one day because you don't own that platform. That platform owns you. You are the content of that platform. When you get something for free, you are the product. So you have got to have some place where you collect all your data. You have your email list. You have their phone numbers. You have the subscriber list. You have your community, in other words. You got to have a place where that's all owned, and not just owned, tracked. So when they download the podcast database, or when they download your book, or when they download your free calculator, you have a list and they are identified with something called tags in that list. So you know, how did they get here and who did what? One, so you can study how effective your tripwires actually are. And two, you know where to take them next. Now, the next thing that you need with your customer relationship management software is a payment processor, because you got to sell your programs. You might be collecting speaker fees, yes, but more often than not, you're going to be selling your coaching program. And having a separate payment processor like PayPal, it's great in the beginning when you don't have a lot of other resources. But again, when you have it integrated into your CRM, you can check the payment status, purchase history, and send invoices through the same piece of software. Imagine having a piece of software that sends your texts, that sends your emails, that manages your sales pipeline, where you can send invoices. You can also post from your socials within this piece of software. You can track everyone's comings and goings through your entire ecosystem. It can house communities for you. Guys, if your CRM doesn't do all of those things, take them out to the dump, because you should have one piece of central software that does all of that and more for you. Now, if you want to check out what we're doing, let me know. Send me a text, 801-509-5495, and you can see what we're doing on our end. But regardless of whether you work with us or not, please get off the spreadsheets and get yourself a really nice customer relationship management software, or CRM, in other words. Thank you for being here on Talk Tips. If you have any questions about getting on stage, delivering a powerful keynote, and how to make money doing it, you know where to find me. The phone number's in the chat one more time. It's 801-509-5495. Send me a text, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Marianne Hickman here again. Listen, I hope super helpful for you. Maybe you learned something new. Share with me in the comments what was valuable. Or if you have this whole separate question like, hey, I wanted to know about this. I wanted to know about stage fright. I want to know how about my presentation on stage. I want to know about how to dress on stage. Anything that you want to know that's relevant to growing your business through stages, put in the questions. Because guess what? I go through and answer all of those personally. That's not an agency or a VA. That's me going through and looking at your questions, because you are who I am here for. So last thing is, I want you to get this database. If you haven't gotten it already, now I've got thousands of downloads on this thing, so maybe you've got it, but if not, make sure you go to mariannehickman.com/database. What that's going to do is take you to a page. You're going to input all of your information. We're going to send the database to you. You're going to request access to it. I keep it locked down so I can make sure I get it to just the right people. And you're going to request access. And then once you have that, you're going to go through and apply to podcasts that have the topic that you'd be an expert speaking on. Here's the thing. I get this database updated twice a week. So there's always new stuff in there. And if you're a podcaster, there's even a list of guests that you can have on your show on that podcast. Maybe you end up doing a podcast swap and you grow your audience that way. Regardless, I want you to get it. So mariannehickman.com/database, and we'll see you in the next Talk Tips.